Hey, you guys, this is Rashawn Ellis for News, Views, and Conversations. Just want to pop in real quick and highlight my favorite podcast news show, the Midas Touch. I wanted to highlight these guys because they hit MSNBC the other day. They were interviewed for being the top podcast show on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. I think they have like 4 million subscribers. So they're doing big things over there. They highlight a lot of things Trump, a lot of things politics, and I love them. And I think they're actually a network. They have other podcasters that are also a part of their network. I'm going to read off some of the shows that are a part of their network and some that are not. I just think that these are fantastic podcast shows that do have like legit, concrete information. A lot of stuff that you don't hear on mainstream, like giving you the meat and potatoes of what else is going on that they cannot highlight for reasons that we already understand. We've seen a lot of people leave so far in mainstream media. Jim Acosta, Joy Reid, Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, and I'm thinking there's a lot of others. But of course, like especially at this time, a lot of people are getting into trouble or scared they're going to lose their program, so they're like kind of kissing the ring, so they don't say a lot of things about Trump, mention certain things or whatever because they don't want to lose what they have going on. So but that's one of the best parts about being on YouTube. We have a little bit more freedom, but at the same time, we still have to kind of watch a little bit of what we say. But there's a little bit more wiggle room, and I pray to God we continue to have this platform to have a little bit more wiggle room than they do in mainstream because they don't have that wiggle room at all. They have to polish what they say, fluff it. They can't give you the meat and potatoes of everything that you may hear on the Midas Touch and all the other podcasts that bring you current up to date news about what's going on today or whatever. And of course, we know they don't like woke because they don't want you to understand what's going on, so they can lie to you, and you have to just go along with what you're being told. So, but Midas Touch, they are phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. It's definitely led by three brothers. So their names are Ben, Brett, and Jordy Marcellus. They're three brothers with very unique backgrounds. Ben is a top lawyer and Colin Kaepernick's business partner. Brett is a two-time Emmy Award-winning video editor from the world of film and television. Jordy, the fan favorite, was an award-winning advertising executive in New York. The brothers' unique approach at covering news by combining hilarious brother banter with an unapologetic support of democracy has earned them millions of supporters in America and across the globe and made them social media icons. The Midas Touch podcast combines brotherly love, comedy news, coverage, and deep discussions about supporting our democracy and is the go to destination for top political leaders who view the podcast as a pivotal stop for their interviews. Join the Marcellus brothers and their loyal following, the self described Midas Mighty, with new episodes featuring all three brothers released every Tuesday and Friday morning, and breaking news updates every single day. Catch the Midas Touch podcast with the brothers live on video every Monday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the Midas Touch YouTube channel. So they got a lot of great things going for them. And before they did the interview with MSNBC, I think it was Ben Meiselas. He interviewed Joe Biden right before he left the White House, before he left office. I was like, okay, wait a minute. These guys are connected. They're interviewing a lot of big people. And so I'm seeing it happen a lot in a lot of independent YouTube channels, independent news, where they're interviewing like top people in politics. So I guess where mainstream is not being able to, have certain people on or whatever, they are giving the interviews now to podcasters that are out here in the streets getting to it, bringing the people the information. So I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great. Again, like I said, definitely check out the Midas Touch. I pull a lot of information from them from time to time when I do certain shows and certain videos where I'm trying to highlight certain information that I want to bring to you guys. But I want to mention them, of course, Midas Touch, Steve Schmidt, The Warning, he's very good. Chris Norland, Secular Talk, Tennessee Brando. I know for sure he's a part of the Midas Touch Network. Politico, James Carville is on that network there. Infinite Waters, iHip Ladies. I call them iHip Ladies. They do a lot of news on Trump and a lot of different things political. Jesse Dollar, he gets to it as well. Darren Monroe Politics. Now he's been coming back giving a lot of information having to do with the courts. that Trump are, going up against trying to like change a lot of different things. And so far from what he's saying, we are winning. So he brings a lot of good information as well. Rashad Crenshaw. And last but not least, my favorite, Adam Mockler. He is 22 years old. And this young man, he is very, very, very versed. So I love his show as well. And David Pakman. So it's a lot of people out there that are bringing it. They are really doing the damn thing. I mean, I enjoy the fact that, the spotlight these days is definitely on YouTube, independent news media, independent shows. And so it's like, I think it's a great thing because they're giving you legit information. You can go and research it for yourself to find out, what they're saying is true. So it's straight to the point, and I love it. And I always want to, try to pride myself on giving you information that I know that's concrete and that I know is true. And if not, I'm definitely going to say we got to see how it plays out. We got to see how it plays out and see what happens next. Because I want to make sure that we're giving you up to the minute truth. And if not, let's just see what happens. But this is what we have so far. So I love the fact that I'm able to bring you what is real. And if not, hey, let's just keep waiting to see what happens next. But these guys here, up to the minute, as far as politics, it is concrete. I like to compare notes. I listen to all media. I listen to CNN, all mainstream. I really don't care for Fox News too much, but I do listen to MSNBC as well and others as well. But I compare mainstream and independent. And a lot of times I will say it definitely lines up, but I can tell where mainstream they drop off and don't give you the rest because they got to keep their jobs. They got families to feed as well. So, but definitely go out there and check out the video. I'm going to leave you with the interview for the Meidas Touch MSNBC, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Joe Rogan may have some competition. The anti-Trump Meidas Touch podcast snagged the top spot on the charts this week. And right now, it is still sitting at #1 on iTunes and Podscribe. So why does this matter? Well, the podcast charts have been dominated by conservative and pro-Trump voices. Some credit them for helping Trump get elected. But now, after just 1 month in office, it seems like America's listeners could be shifting views. I want to bring in the Meidas Touch podcast hosts, Ben, Brett, and Jordy Meiselas, 3 brothers who I'm guessing did not think in their careers they would end up being podcast superstars. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. Ben, I turn to you first. You describe the podcast as pro-democracy rather than supporting one party or another. Tell us about your mission.
Our mission is to just speak the truth each and every day. Unapologetically pro-democracy means that we're just fact-checking all of the right-wing propaganda. We are making sure that we are loud and proud about every single thing that we stand for. And it's just so critical for us each and every day to just be fearless. This is a time for fearless coverage, fearless reporting. And, there's so much to report about every single day, what's going on in the White House every single day. When Donald Trump's talking about $5 million Trump gold card, when Donald Trump's talking about letting Russian oligarchs come into the United States, when Donald Trump is talking about how he supports Putin's agenda, really pushing back on that each and every day and saying it in a way that doesn't mince words. And I think that's what's connecting with our audience.
Brett, why did you guys start Meidas Touch in the first place? You do not have news or politics background. How did it come to be?
It came to be because, frankly, we were all kind of scared about what was going on during Donald Trump's first term, the end of it, as COVID was breaking out. It was around March 2020 when we actually kicked things off. We were all home from our jobs and we were speaking to each other in text message chats and over the phone. We all live in different parts of the country, or in me and Ben's case, different parts of the city. And we were honestly just nervous about what was going on. And we felt like no one was out there meeting the moment and speaking about these issues. So we figured, well, we have social media, so at least we could speak and say what we want to say on this platform. And if anybody cares, great. If nobody cares, at least we're getting our thoughts out there. And it turned out people cared, and it grew very quickly. And now we're coming up to our 5-year anniversary of Meidas Touch. It both feels like we started this thing a week ago and 20 years ago. I think you understand how time kind of bends in the Trump era or the multiple Trump eras. But we've been working hard at this for 5 years now, and it's great to be able to share our story with the folks on your network.
Jordy, why do you think your message is gaining so much traction right now? What is it about this moment?
I think people want fighters, and I think we're authentically putting that message out there. We never try and be anything that we're not. It's really awesome to see this community. They refer to themselves as the Meidas Mighty. They're the greatest pro-democracy warriors that frankly exist. Shout out to the Meidas Mighty. And it's just been amazing. We do everything, and I come from the world of marketing. The term authentic kind of gets overused, but I think people are really seeing what we're doing as truly authentic. We're not trying to be anyone else. We're just trying to put our heads down and do the work every single day.
Jordy, we talk about the right-wing media universe being so powerful, and the left has had no answer to it. What do you think about that?
Look, people want fighters. The messaging on the right has worked so effectively because the Republican politicians are meeting this generation of voters where they exist, in the digital ecosystems. Now, they're lying to them. They're lying right to their faces. But when lower information voters hear a MAGA politician on XYZ comedian's podcast say, hey, I'm going to do this no tax on tips thing. And for you younger millennials, I want to make housing more affordable. That sounds great. Sign me up. But what happens when these MAGA politicians get into office? Well, they align themselves with the billionaire and oligarch class, conveniently forget about those policies made on those podcasts.
Do you consider yourself left-wing media, Jordy?
Well, I'll say this. We're unapologetically pro-democracy, right? I think we cast a big umbrella here at the Meidas Touch Network. You frame us a very funny way, and I actually like it. Last week I heard it. You said, hey, these aren't your typical, touchy-feely progressives. These are three bros from Long Island. Now, I'll say this.
Well, you are.
Quite literally, we are three brothers from Long Island. So I appreciate and understand that sentiment. But hey, there's nothing wrong with being a touchy-feely progressive. Like I said, we cast a big umbrella here. And so more so than anything, I consider ourselves unapologetically pro-democracy. If you're pro the Constitution, pro upholding norms, pro democracy, there's a spot for you on our roster.
But do you think, Brett, that's sort of one of the reasons you land? Because a knock has been that Democrats are so focused on being super inclusive, they're leaving out guys who essentially look just like the three of you.
Yeah, listen, I think you need to speak authentically, and I don't think you need to box yourself into any particular framework. And I think people frequently want to box you into frameworks, but I think you just got to be yourself, and you got to focus on what are the biggest issues that are going on right now. And right now we have a president of the United States and his billionaire oligarch buddy who are essentially leading a coup against the United States from within. And I think people are looking right now for people to call this out for what it is every single day, unapologetically, to meet the moment, to use the language that they are using. And I think you have to just understand your audience and understand what people are craving right now. To Jordy's point, people are craving fighters. If you're not meeting the moment, if you're not speaking to these issues, and if you're focused on kind of sideshows, then people are going to get distracted. People are going to want to tune out. But if you're focused on the main issues of our time, which is saving our democracy and protecting the United States of America as we all knew it, as our grandparents all knew it, then I think you have a place here.
Ben, you guys are not political strategists by any means, but do you have any advice? When you look at how you connect with listeners, with viewers, do you have advice for, let's say, Democrats who are trying to figure out their messaging and how to connect in a way that Donald Trump very successfully did this time around?
I just think you have to be your authentic selves. I mean, people just want a fair shot. And I think it's just so important that, we continue to reach out to all different groups and communities, and we just stand loud and proud about our values. I think so much Democrats are existing in a right-wing framework, and they're always kind of playing catch up or always playing defense. I think you have to stand by the American worker. I think you have to stand by just being a decent human being. You hear on the broosphere, MAGA, they keep talking about, oh, they're alpha this and they're alpha that. I mean, real alpha people don't go around saying that they're alpha. When I grew up in high school, being alpha actually meant like defending people who were being bullied, not being the bully. And so I think just being empathetic, focusing on just normalcy is a message that connects and resonates with our audience. And each and every day, I think what our audience likes is that, again, we're three brothers. Our family dynamic shines through. We love each other. We have our brother banter, and we genuinely care about these issues facing Americans. And I would just say this, I think it's so important to form these natural connections with the American people. Donald Trump can show up with a cold pizza at a fire department, and even though he's taking away potentially their benefits or taking away their health care, he's showing up with the pizza, even though the pizza's cold. And sometimes people are voting against their interests because he showed up and was present. So I think it's important that whether it's Democrats or just any politician goes and meets with the people every day.
Where they are.
You want to always be campaigning, mindset. You shake people's hands, you look them in the eye, and you say to them, I care about you. I'm going to fight for you. People need to hear that right now, and they always need to hear that.
People want to eat the pizza, even if it's cold. They don't want to read a well-edited press release. Jordy, what does Meidas Touch look like without Donald Trump?
Look, this whole thing, it's not even about Donald Trump. He's the person right now that is putting forward, these anti-democratic ideals. But Meidas Touch exists even beyond Trump, so long as there are people who want to fight to preserve our democracy. People often view this as an anti-Donald Trump movement right now. That's because he's a clear and present danger. Should there be someone else that sort of takes on that mantle, we'll never go away. And even beyond that, we want to just continue to uphold pro-democracy ideals and values once we are able to restore and preserve our democracy.
All right, before we go, Brett, did you guys like politics? Was this an interest of yours 6 years ago?
Hey, I would watch Msnbc. I think that was my interest of, politics. But no, I'm into music. I like movies. I worked in film and TV. I moved out to LA to work in film and TV, and that's what I've been doing until this happened. And so I never in a million years wanted to work in politics, quite frankly. I never in a million years saw this as my future, but it's something I kind of fell into, that we all fell into. And I think we all view this as our life's mission right now. We view every single day when we wake up that this is an existential fight for our country. And if we get to the end of the day and we say, okay, that was a success, that's all we want to do. Every single day, just check the box, say we did that, we crushed the day, we did everything to 150%, and we do that literally every single day. You could probably see from the dark circles under my eyes that we are waking up early in the morning, working till late at night, making sure that we just lay it all on the field every single day. I think to your question before, what Democrats need to do also is they need to understand that we are in an information battle right now. This is a battle that is taking place on digital spaces like never before. And if you're going to cede that battleground by not being on platforms, if you're going to cede that battleground by viewing the internet as some sort of sideshow, and that, I'll just kind of, like you said before, show my press release on there and everything's going to be okay. Guess what? You're already a million steps behind in the battle. You got to treat this like it's an essential part of the job and ensure that you are reaching people where they are, because right now most people are getting their content online and it is shaping the conversations that people are having in the world.
Then my last question, and you led me right to it, Ben, how many hours a week are you guys at this? Because you're basically my entire Instagram feed.
Well, there's very little sleep, but I don't consider it work. I think one of the things that connects with our viewers and our listeners is we try to bring genuine joy into everything we're doing. I think there's so much negativity in these day and ages that, we do it with a smile, we do it with empathy, we do it with love, and we're really having a lot of fun doing it. And it's also a testament to our incredible community that goes by the Meidas Mighty, which is just millions and millions of pro-democracy loving Americans and people around the world who are really the heart and soul of this. Yes, it's a great thing that we're beating Joe Rogan, but at the end of the day, I think what makes this podcast connect is that it's really not about us as individuals. It's about the movement, which is the Meidas Mighty. And we're just so honored to be members of that movement, just bringing the facts and receipts every day.
All right, I know I'm out of time, but as long as we're talking about love, Jordy, what does your family think about this? What does your mother think?
Our family's super excited about it. They really are. And look, I have to give both of our parents an incredible amount of credit. They've instilled such a hard work ethic in my brothers and I. And we just, we get up every day and we want to do the right thing. And we try and put the values that they instilled in us into our work. And I hope we're making them proud.
Listen, I'm from New Jersey, so it takes a lot for me to give credit to Strong Island, but you boys are going at it. Great to meet you. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.